rundown trailer park. There's a lot of shady characters. There's also drugs going on here. So anyway, I'm gonna skip all that because I feel like the more I talk about it, I could get flagged on TikTok because TikTok is very sensitive with things that I talk about, which is another reason why like I haven't really felt as motivated going live on TikTok for that reason, because it is such a finicky, like they're very picky with things. All right, anyway, but you get my drift. We set the scene. So then they say, when I was 8, my mom married a man named Paul. Paul had been in a pretty bad car accident, and shortly before meeting my mom was prescribed pain medicine. He quickly got hooked soon after the authorities began cracking down on over-prescription opioids, and Paul was no longer able to legally get his fix. So he turned to the streets, and, you know, this is just too detailed. Like, okay, we get the point. He eventually graduated, geez, the word. He eventually moved on to injections, if you get my drift. Yeah. Paul had a friend named Luke, who he met when he first started using. And Luke was oh gosh, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get through the story because, again, I've been flagged for talking about this on TikTok live stream. So I'm just going to like skip all this. But we know that like basically his stepdad was just up to no good. And he had a friend named Luke who they would do not so good things. So I passed by Luke often, especially when I went to check the mall or the mail. He'd be walking the opposite way, heading to the neighbor's house, and would always say, "Hey, sweetie." Luke could be drunk as a skunk, or barely walk for being, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to read the story, sadly. I'm gonna move on because I don't want to get flagged. What? You guys over on YouTube. Auntie, what do you mean? How are you? So, all right, this one's called Weird Experience in My Grandparents' Yard at Night, question mark. So I'm visiting my grandparents in rural North Florida, and for a very long time I've been going out to swing. I've been going out to the swing set at their house at night just to chill and enjoy the night air. That sounds pretty relaxing. And I usually listen to music, and there are cow ranchers beyond the swing set, which is by their fence about 40 or 50 feet from their house. There is a big field and then some woods and some swamps. Oh my God, the swamps. Oh my gosh, I am not a swamp person. When I went to visit New Orleans, there was a swamp tour, and while I should have done it, I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna get like mauled by bugs. So when I was younger, I was super into the paranormal stuff. So I used to get really spooked imagining something behind me or watching from the woods. But now that I'm older, I very seldomly get spooked, yeah, or get that feeling. Tonight I was feeling it a little bit, but I tried my best to just brush it off while I waited for my eyes to adjust to the dark and listen to music as usual. But then as soon as I started to feel all right, something really weird happened. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I saw a dark black figure rush past me and then disappear, and I felt it. Basically, it felt like someone brushed past you in a crowd, but less solid. But I felt the warmth of it, and the air pushed past me. There was a bit of lightning out, so my first thought was that it was a trick of light, but I wouldn't have felt that. A breeze would not have looked like a dark figure, and it would only be in one specific spot. I've always felt the house. I always faced the house, so there was no lighting behind me except the aforementioned lighting. It could have been a bird or animal. It could not have been a bird or an animal because it disappeared. Plus, a bird couldn't get through the swing ropes like that. Interesting. These are scary stories, yes. My favorite singer. No, but none of those. It is Anthony Green from Circa Survive. I'm in my senses? What's that mean? Sounds like a ghost to me. Yep. Diddy should be in jail. All right. This one is called Weird Experience with My Dad. Gosh, you two people are so interesting. Okay, this one is weird experience with my dad. So I normally sleep with my bedroom door closed. I was 19 at the time, and I don't remember why, but for whatever reason, I was laying in bed with my door open, getting comfortable, and I remember across the short hallway was the doorway to my parents' bedroom. And I remember that I saw my dad standing in said doorway, just staring at me. Then he disappeared, and I saw my dad again in a completely different outfit walking down the living room. So he basically saw a doppelganger. Jeez, that's weird. Y'all are weird. That's a weird thing to say to somebody. I hope you know that. Had to check your security cams. No worries. All right. Someone's like, he must have changed clothes, but like, how would he go from upstairs to the living room? Let's see if I need another story. Okay, this is an interesting one. So this was called My Stepmom Heard Me Answer Her, but I was not even there. So I've always had haunted house experiences. I don't know why, but I think it has something to do with my stepmom. She always had this dark, heavy energy around her, and it felt like things just naturally stuck to her, then to me, and eventually the rest of the house. All right. One last place was Our last place was horrible. Doors locked by themselves, and there was always knocking, and everyone in the house was tense or angry time. And then my dad and my stepmom broke up finally, but they got back together, of course, and we moved into this new town home across from the cemetery. It's not an old house or anything like that, but the energy got pretty worse. I started to feel like I was being watched, something was touching, seeing stuff for a second, and then it'd be gone. I'd wake up in a panic, like someone was standing right behind me. I moved my bed thinking maybe it was the closet creeping me out, but that feeling followed. It's like whatever it was knew where I moved. But the creepiest thing that happened was one random day after I got the mail, and I came in through the garage and saw my cat's water bowl on the floor. It was slimy on the bottom, probably from my dog drinking out of it. So I brought it upstairs to clean it, and after filling it up, I went to head upstairs again and ran into my stepmom. She looked at me like I wasn't real and asked where I'd been. I told her I was downstairs cleaning the water bowl, and she just froze. She said she had asked me to fill the OxyClean earlier and heard me say yes, ma'am, from the room. And then she said, I love you. And apparently I said, I love you too. But the thing is, I hadn't even been upstairs yet. My dad was there too and said he had heard her talking, but never heard anyone respond. The next day, she made me clean my room, get rid of all my black stuff, sage everything, the whole deal. Whatever the thing was not me. Interesting. That's okay. All right. Anyways. All right. Something negative is attached to the stepmom. Probably, yeah. Like, that is interesting how, like, just escalated. All right. Let me find another story. Okay. This one says, had to leave the Greyface Museum early. Okay. Hey everyone, I just wanted to see if anybody else has experienced something similar to what I did. Yesterday, I visited the Greyface Museum in Savannah, Georgia. The museum itself is highly informative and well put together. So, this post is definitely not trying to say anything negative about the museum or those who run it because they've definitely done a good job. However, I had to leave early. The second I walked into the museum, there was a feeling of intense heaviness. While buying the tickets, I heavily disassociated and began shaking. I do have anxiety disorder, so I chalked it up to just being for it just being that. Let me quickly look up what the Gray Face Museum is though, because now I'm curious. Because the more we talk about this, I'm like, what is the Gray Face? It looks like it says paranormal experiences. Interesting. Okay, so where the history meets the haunted, the original Greyface Museum located is in Savannah, in Savannah's first true crime paranormal oddities museum established in 2020. The museum is situated inside the historic riverfront by the building that was built in 1809 in downtown Savannah. The Greyface Museum is a unique attraction known for its macabre collection of items acquired over 25 years by founder Ryan Greyface. Exhibits include expanse of true crime artifacts, vintage freak taxidermy, a sideshow, the occult, haunted objects, and other memorabilia linked to all things supernatural and or strange. Well, there you go. Yeah, you're right, Victor. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so it's like an oddities, haunted, true crime artifact museum. Here's my thing. I truly don't. I'm not okay. I don't know if this is gonna upset some people, but whatever. I don't see the fascination of collecting true crime memorabilia. It's kind of I don't know. It just depends on how you. I guess I don't know. I don't think it's like it's kind of exploitive, especially like having pictures and I don't know. I don't know. Just I'm not into it. I'm not into it. I'm just like okay. It's very morbid. You're like it's a little morbid. I'm like oh my god, it's just very morbid to me. I don't know. I don't know. So I actually have gone to okay, so if anyone knows about the Manson murders, um I went to somebody who lives on the same street about like three houses down the street and they were going to do like a media night because they were going to do like a theatrical seance there with like a magician and everything like that. But when I got inside, like the guy owns like he does like paintings of Sharon Tate. He has like certain things in his living room and I'm like interesting. And he does claim that his house is haunted and like I know it's been featured on Ghost Adventures. And I was just like interesting. This is a little bit I don't even know where you get I don't know where you get memorabilia like that. I honestly have no idea. But it's weird just saying it. Yeah, it so I went there, were doing like a theatrical seance. We went and like I kind of was just more curious about the house that was like three streets down from this tragedy because I was like what's their angle? Like what are they selling? Like what are they trying to get people to be aware about? And to me, I just didn't understand fully like what makes that house haunted. And I don't think that like the spirits of what happened on that night would linger on that street, let alone visit like a stranger's house and still like talk to people, you know what I mean? Like it's a very interesting I don't know, I feel a little bit like torn with that idea, to be honest. I do believe in ghosts. I do have a playlist on my YouTube channel where it's called Paranormal Investigations. Those are the ones I've done. Chaos, the true crime novel. Yeah, that's why that Scott. That's a good point. Scott says some demonic forces attach themselves to those memorabilia's or artifacts. You got to be careful. I just and not even just like demonic, but I just feel like in general, like you just feel the weird energy to it alone. You know what I mean? There was this one time I went to North Carolina and there's like a small oddity shop, which it's great. I really do like the shop in a sense that like there's a section that talks about all like the missing people that that went missing in that town true crime cases in that town. And it's more just like bringing awareness of what's happened there and just like, things that have been gone unsolved still. And then there's like, they have like their vintage antique area, and they have this vault. And when I went there at the time, the vault had just like haunted dolls and relics in the vault. But prior to that, apparently they had like a true crime memorabilia of items in the vault. And I had no idea that this has happened because I was just visiting. I just stumbled. I was walking around that town that day, and I just so happened to see it. And when I opened the vault, I did not like the energy. I did not like the energy. I was like, it's not the dolls. I've been around haunted dolls. Something weird was here before that. And that's when he confirmed that, like, they had the memorabilia there. So, anyway, energy. Yeah. I have not, Joey. What about the El Paso High School? Or, I mean, I don't know. Okay. So, a haunted prison. There's a few of them. So yeah, we are doing scary story or ghost stories, haunted stuff. That is what the live stream is about. It is wild. It is. So the YouTube comment section is a little wild. I'm not gonna lie. The one in Ohio, wait. What's the name to that one? I know Ohio has plenty of haunted places. Never been to Ohio, but um, interesting. So interestingly enough, there's this guy that writes a lot of books on like haunted Los Angeles locations. He used to frequent the Alcatraz location a lot, and I think they would do paranormal tours or ghost tours and investigations. He told me that there's just one time when they were in Alcatraz, they were just sitting down by the infirmary area, I think, and one of his buddies was gonna sit on the chair, and he was like a skeptic, and like he made a joke about like the ghost or something like that, and as he was trying to sit on the chair just slid and he fell. I was like, oh my gosh. Steven says the scariest one is that is Scene Asylum in Staten Island. Yes, I've heard of that one. I've explored Allentown St. Hospital Asylum in Pennsylvania. Ooh, with one other urban explorer at 3 a.m. That sounds interesting. Did you guys experience anything? Yeah, there's just a lot of feel like there's a lot of negative energy. I could never collect true crime stuff or anything. I don't even like being around it. I think that's one of the things about the museum in Vegas, the Zach Bagans Museum. I know a lot of people are like, you keep saying his last name wrong, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I don't follow the guy closely. I'm sorry. um, but I remember that we were considering doing a tour there when I was in Vegas last time, and it didn't happen. But I know that they also have like a section that has like true crime memorabilia stuff, and I'm like, I don't know about this. Joey says a cheerleader jumped from the roof of the high school, and you can see her standing behind people in pictures, and the janitors have seen her in the windows late at night. Oh my God, goosebumps. I'm not in Vegas, no. Thank you, Ghost. I mean, sure. You believe what you want to believe. Thank you. There is an abandoned prison in Jean, Nevada, 20 minutes south of Vegas. But yeah, so there's just like, I don't know. I've also wanted to visit the Clown Motel. I believe that's also Nevada too. I think it's on the outskirts. Um, but I've been wanting to visit that place. So I do have a playlist on YouTube, and it's just like my paranormal investigations. I have a few of those on there. I'm in the middle of trying to edit my latest investigation that I did with a friend of mine. Um, but I just been so busy. Oh, thank you, Ghost24. Yeah, wrong life. I think if you are looking for somebody to be interested, you should go to Tinder or something, not a live stream. You're you're probably in the wrong live stream. What a weird thing to say. Hi, Reaper. It's been a year since you've seen me. Oh my gosh. Who's the monitor here? I don't do lives often here, so I don't have like a moderator or anything. Closest I can do to true crime memorabilia is case files or articles. Yeah, like I can read about like true crime stuff. I mean, for me, like I do listen to true crime podcasts, not ones that are like do a bunch of banter and joking around. Like I don't think I can handle that, to be honest with you. Like I'm not like I don't know. I just there are some people that have covered true crime cases and it's like usually like two people, right, or more than like a person, and they do a lot of like joking and banter. I don't think I can do those, honestly. It takes me out of the story. And also when it's like joking and banter, it's hard for me to like feel like I'm not tuning in and being exploitive. If that does that make sense? Like I want it to be respectful and whatnot.